across the World Wide Web, on your mobile devices, on social media platforms. This is Jambo Radio! www.jamboradio.co.uk. We are multilingual. We are conversational in the languages you best understand. We are Jambo Radio! Jambo Radio, inspiring transformation.
Good morning. You're listening to Exploring Faith here on Jambo Radio. I'm your host, Inonge Siluka. And on this space, we talk about conversation from a Christian perspective, looking at the Christian life and how we can apply it to everyday life. I've got an amazing guest today. We're going to be talking about pressure and basically figuring yourself out in your 20s and what that looks like. I've got an amazing guest for that today. But before we do that, just a reminder of all the places you can connect with this and with other shows here on Jambo Radio. Remember, you can follow us on social media on Jambo Radio Scotland. That's on Facebook. We are Jambo Radio 1 on X. Jambo Radio jamboradio.scotland on Instagram, and you can email us. This could be suggestions for future shows or just your feedback from what you've heard from today, and you can email at info@jamboradio.co.uk. Now, on today's show, like I said, we have an amazing guest. Her name is Tomisin Ibigbemi, and she's going to be talking Gen Z and all the conversations around that. So, Tomisin, welcome to Jambo Radio.
Thank you so much for having me. It's so good to be here.
Yeah, I'm really excited. So we had a really interesting conversation. We met at a career conference and just hit it off. And I was like, oh my goodness, we need to have you on Jambo Radio. We need to continue this conversation, or rather we need to get people listening into some of the conversations we were having. So I've just got a little blurb just to, so you can hear a little bit more about her. I obviously know all the details, but it'll be good to kind of share some of that. So Tomisin is a creative-led account executive at John Doe, and she has a passion for content, social media, and just storytelling. She has a first-class honors degree in management and marketing, 35,000 followers. Well done. Across platforms, and she has a lot of hands-on experience across kind of like PR, strategy, content creation, and client management. And she likes to kind of blend that creative side of things with like some results-driven thinking to bring ideas to life. And excitingly, we're going to talk a little bit more about this in our show as well. She's also the founder of the Grace Unity, which is a Christian community centered around creativity, connection, and fellowship. And it was created to provide young Christians with a supportive space to find like-minded people, navigate some of life's challenges together, and build meaningful relationships whilst enjoying kind of shared experiences. So that's something that I felt this needs a platform and a conversation, because that is such a gap in today's culture as well, isn't it? So that's the blurb, that's the official. But how does it feel with reading that? You're like listening to.
I've actually done quite a lot of things.
Yeah. When you put it out like that, it's like, okay, look at me go.
I know. We thank God.
So can you just tell us a little bit about kind of your journey so far? You're in your 20s. Yeah. She thought we were the same age, and I was in my 20s.
Guys, look at her skin. It's glowing. Like, please, I want to be like you when I grow up.
Thank you. So just that journey in your 20s so far, what that looks like for you, because I think so many people will kind of appreciate some of these challenges that we're going to be talking about faith and career and identity and all of the good stuff. So over to you.
Yeah, so hi guys, thanks for having me. So just a bit about my background faith-wise. My dad is a pastor, so been a PK all my life. PK. Shout out to all the PKs out there, because it's not easy, especially growing up. I feel like there's like just an uncertain pressure behind Christianity, growing up as a pastor's child, and the things that you need to know. But honestly, my dad, my mom, my parents are so supportive, Christian faith. They really let you try and like figure out for yourself. Obviously, growing up is like, you don't have a choice. You're going to church. It's not a yes or no conversation. But I feel like that's built my character today, like meeting like-minded friends growing up, and having that support system around me was really helpful growing up and shaping my mindset. But yeah, so I've grown up around Christians all my life, been a Christian all my life, but I feel like I was really rooted in Christ and found my own relationship with God when I was in uni. As they say, uni can really shape you as a person. But I went into uni 2020. I left in 5th year instead of 6th year because I was just done with high school. I was like, I got the grades, and get me out of here. COVID started. I'm like, okay. I just sat down with myself because
you were in the middle.
The trenches.
Yeah.
So COVID happened, and then we like finished that school, like part of school early. We used our prelims instead of actually sitting exams for that year. I got good grades by the grace of God, so I was just sitting because I wanted to do dentistry before.
Okay, that's different.
Quite a change. And I was just thinking, like, I did content creation myself, like at home, like I'd be the one shoving the camera in your face, wanting to catch all the memories. So I was just like, and business in school, I was just always really good at it without like trying too hard. So I was like, why am I stressing myself trying to do dentistry, which I loved because I'm quite artsy, quite good with my hands. But I was just like, I'm good at business. I love content creation. Why don't I use my passions for a career? So kind of had the conversation with my parents. I was like, I want to go to uni now. This is like 2 weeks to like all the uni processing ending. So we had to kind of move quickly. I applied through clearing. I got into university in Aberdeen called RGU because of their placement and study abroad program. So I just went to uni. I literally didn't even tell anyone from my high school. They just didn't see me the next year. I literally just disappeared. Literally. So I started uni, but the first year was all online. So it was, but I didn't mind. I was at home chilling. Didn't need to have like whole fresh year's experience, which people love. And I got that in second year, but I was kind of just comfortable being online, meeting people through the screens. Like obviously it was a tragic time, but it was like more chill because I could just be at home with my parents. So that happened. I went to study business management, as you mentioned, and then I did a semester abroad in America, Oklahoma. So that was like my first uni experience, and that's when I found God. For real. Because obviously America is a completely different culture to the UK, so there's a lot happening, the fraternities, the sororities. My eyes were opened, let's just say that. But it was good because I really just understood that you really can't go through this life alone, like without God being on your side. So I definitely was in the Word more for myself, not just for my parents, and just understood what having faith really meant during that time. But and then obviously went on to advance my career within marketing. Did a few internships out of uni, but obviously the job market is very difficult.
So that out of industry is it's intense and competitive.
It very much is. And when you're just coming out of uni, everybody wants experience. Oh, you need experience with this, but I'm like, I literally just finished uni. How am I meant to have all this experience that you're asking for at this early career stage? But thankfully, because of the internships and the placement year that I did within uni, I managed to get a role at a marketing agency. That was my first marketing agency, and then now I'm at John Doe, which is my second agency that I'm working with.
That's an amazing, very interesting journey because as you were saying about like doing dentistry and then moving into a more creative space, I was thinking African context, African parents. That is
I've
different.
Honestly just so grateful to have the parents that I have. They're so supportive throughout the whole journey. Like they're literally like, okay, if this is something that you want to do, we believe that you have the passion to do this and actually see it through. So really grateful for that.
So that's I was wondering, just in terms of expectations, and obviously you wanted to do something else and then you pivoted slightly and you know, that whole trying to find a job in marketing. In terms of where you thought you would be, I guess like at this kind of stage, you know, is that where you are now? Is that where you thought you would be, or where you imagined you would be?
Do you know what it is? I feel like being so young, like for everyone, and having to like kind of decide your life at that stage is kind of like a crazy thing. But I didn't really put that much pressure on myself, hence why like all the pivots, and because I feel like if you have like this idea in your head, like, oh, I'm gonna be this at this stage of my life, you're kind of setting yourself up for disappointment if that doesn't happen, and you're kind of limiting yourself to other opportunities that may come along the way. So I was kind of free-minded in the sense of like where I was gonna see myself in the future. So honestly, I was just trusting in God. I'm like, God, you've given me these skills, I'm gonna use them wherever that takes me. That's where it takes me. So I'm really happy with where I am right now, because I did a lot to get here. So yeah, I think it all kind of just boiled down to the fact of doing the work as well as having faith in God.
No, that's amazing. I was thinking back to like my own kind of experience, and kind of like similar to you, it wasn't quite a straight road, but actually I got to a space where I was, because I went to uni to do chemical engineering and applied chemistry.
Wow. Oh wow. I mean, period.
Because I don't like, anybody who knows me, I don't like putting all my eggs in one basket. So I could have just done chemical engineering. I was like, no, we need to add something to it, just in case, right? And I 2 months in, I hated it. I was like, I don't want to do this, right? So I literally ditched the course after 2 months, changed to another course within the year to production engineering and management.
Nice.
Went onto that course, which was more kind of product design. I didn't understand what's happening. I was like, what am I doing here? And then my mom was like, you know, you used to enjoy like justice related stuff. Why didn't you do law? So I went to uni to chemical engineering, applied chemistry, and I came out of uni with a law degree.
Wow.
And then did ministry training for a year. So my friends were so confused, like, you're working so hard to get a first class degree, and then you're gonna work for free for 10 months working with students in Christian unions, because that's what I did. Like, are you mad? What is going on there? And although I was happy, like kind of similar to you, I was like, you know, this is where I want to be. This is where the journey in life has led me to. I'm so excited. There is a part of you that is to sometimes comparing yourself to other people, because there's friends who had maybe gone on to do other stuff. They were earning more money. Like I was broke. Like I was like 25-year-old. Like I had no money. And so I was kind of, suddenly I'm like, oh, is this kind of where I want to be, and things like that. And so I think there is always that temptation of kind of, you know, comparison. And it feels like, do you think it feels like a significant period of time for a lot of people, like your 20s? Because I look back and I'm like, Inonge, you had your whole life ahead of you, but why were you like, oh no, I should have been doing this, or I should have been like, what do you think about that kind of particular phase of life and what's going on in your mind and around you?
I feel like 20s is such a difficult period because people expect you to have things figured out, but you're literally trying to figure out what you like for yourself, but you have to keep, life has to keep going as you're figuring out. So it is so difficult, and like you said, comparison is literally like a thief. It's a thief of joy. Like it's really hard not to compare yourself, especially because like you have your peers doing so much around you, but you never actually know what people are going through. And literally the Bible verse that got me through uni is Philippians 4:6-7. It's like, don't worry about anything, said pray, and pray about everything, and God will literally guard your heart and your mind. So it's like, literally, what's the point in worrying? Like, worrying won't really get you anywhere. Exactly. As long as like you're putting the effort in and doing the work and doing something that aids to your future, and like trusting God will like send destiny helpers your way and give you the resources to continue doing that. Like that's all you can do at that point. So that's kind of like how I went through about life. Like, you can't really not compare yourself, especially in the world of social media. Everyone is posting like their best highlights. Like even me, I'm a LinkedIn warrior. So like, but you can't literally believe what you see online, because people can lie, first of all. Like that's always the thing. Like people can like make things seem so glamorous, when it's not really as it seems. So you just need to trust in yourself, trust in your sauce and what you bring to the table, and God will literally aid to that, and people will come to help you through the way. Like through my journey, like you don't realize how many people are actually willing to help you, like if you just ask for help. So I feel like that's been really helpful for my journey as well. Within comparison, it's like you can find mentors that have literally been through exactly what you're feeling, and they can help you to kind of navigate that situation. So yeah,
that's a helpful point. I love what you said about you're still trying to figure yourself out, but everybody wants you to have figured stuff out, but also they don't take you seriously enough, but they expect you to. So it's like you're in that limbo of, you want me to know everything, but also you don't trust me enough to and I was thinking about ways in which because that was going to be my next question, just thinking about the faith aspect a little bit deeper, because one of the things that I loved about my 20s is, honestly, I was just all over the place in one sense. Like, I was happy with where I was, but I was trying everything. I literally was like, I want to skydive. Let me go skydive and see what that, like, why not? Or I did Camp America. Did you?
Yeah.
Look at us.
I know, connecting.
And I just tried different things, and like I was just, it was a time to just be out there and just try stuff.
100%. I feel like that's what your 20s is like meant to be for, like especially for me, like being in a privileged space to be able to live in my parents' house, and like I just think to myself, like, if everything actually goes wrong, what is the worst that will happen? Like it's just like the best period of your life to take risks and do the thing that's in your brain. Like if you want to start a business, if you want to move to a different country, like everyone that I speak to that I'm like, oh, what should I do at this point in my life, they're like, oh, I wish I traveled, or I wish I did this. So like once you get like past the 20 stage, and like you actually need to be grinding with the kids and the husband, and like this is the best stage where you don't have those, like, not liabilities, but people other people that you need to think about, like it's
more
just
things on your plate.
Exactly.
Even if you're not like married or have a spouse, the older you are, the more things just you have more responsibilities in general. That's when life starts to hit you. I would say. So I think it's such a crucial period for like identity and thinking about who you are and what kind of person, because that's what I love about my 30s. Kind of not saying that you fully arrive and you figured everything out, but you kind of then get to the space where you fully know what you're about. Like
you've tried things and like you can understand, I like this, I like that. So
100%. So no, that's really encouraging. Just in terms of, you've mentioned that Bible verse about from Philippians about actually just leaving things at the feet of Jesus and not carrying that worry and being anxious about the future, because that's a big piece, isn't it? Is there anything else that where Jesus has kind of made a difference to how you approach things, whether that's kind of in your personal life or work, where you think, if Jesus wasn't in the midst of this, I don't know how or where I would be. Is there anything that comes to mind?
Even just like navigating through problems and situations, like you can get so down in the dumps, but then you're like, God actually has you, like he's there waiting for you to come to him in prayer. And I feel like every time that I don't spend enough time in my word, don't spend enough time in prayer, that's when I feel myself losing like my sanity a little bit. Like I need to like go back to the word, go back and bank on my faith, because like this song Jireh by Maverick City, they were like, if he dresses the lilies, like how much more will he do for you? So it's like God is always like have your best interest at heart. So like just going back to like speaking, getting advice from people, having a spiritual guide as well. Like thank God my dad's a pastor, because sometimes I'm just like, Dad, what is going on right now? Help me. And then he'll just be like, this Bible verse, this Bible verse, this Bible verse. I'm like, what? So it's nice to have someone there that really, really understands the word and has like been through that with all that experience that he has as well, and seeking guidance. But yeah, I feel like that's the main thing. Like if I didn't have Jesus in my life, only God knows. Only God knows.
There's a song in there somewhere, isn't there? I love that about people and community, that kind of like encourage it, because I think that's one thing I used to take for granted. I think in my late teens, I wasn't a fan of church. I just felt like everyone is a bit different,
Yeah.
and I don't fit in, and
Yeah.
it's not fun. You're not as fun as my other cool friends. And that's something I was really challenged by when I was starting to read the Bible a bit more. Is that actually one of God's gifts to us is the church. It's not perfect by any means, and anybody who's listened to me, I've talked about toxic churches and all of that as well. So that's very much a thing. But for the most part, it is a place that you get that encouragement, you get that perspective, cross-generational as well, because you're talking about your dad and people who are older than you, people who've been there, even just younger people. Sometimes I'm chatting to the young team at church, and they're literally 16, 17-year-olds that are you can get such encouragement from that as well. So I love that kind of community, and those themes that you're talking about, like God cares about us and he loves us, and even when it doesn't make sense and life just let's be honest, sometimes life just sucks. There's a greater plan
ahead. Like you say, community. Like I feel like I've grown up to like pour into communities all the time. Like I'm literally the planner of the group. Like every time there's like, see, for this bank holiday, I'm like, everyone come to my house. Let's just commune. I have like a Bible study group with my girls. Like we just come over, we'll have something to eat, watch a movie, but we'll just talk
Bible
about
and
God.
Food.
Honestly, Bible and that's what you need. So like I feel like that's one of the gifts God has given me, just like to commune with people, fellowship together, which is why I created TGU, which is just like for other people that struggle to find like-minded people, just so you have that space. Because a lot of the events that I run, people come by themselves, not knowing anyone. So it's like there's like an urge to find that community within my generation. I feel like people want to feel seen. People want to like have people to guide them
social
as
media
well.
and AI,
Exactly.
It's like community is that gap.
Treacherous out here. So it's like finding people that actually get where you're going and get the journey that you're on is so important. So I agree with that.
Amazing. We're going to talk a little bit more about some of that work in the second half of the show, but we are going to take a short break for now, a music break, and the song that I've got for you is by a band called Sanctus Real, and the song is My God Is Still the Same. And I love this song because it talks about, regardless of what's going on in your life, and we've talked about some of these themes where sometimes you're not sure of what's happening, like life is lifing and you're like, what is this? God doesn't change, even when we do, even when our circumstances do, and we can always trust him. So here is My God Is Still the Same by Sanctus Real. Welcome back to Exploring Faith here on Jumbo Radio. We are having a really amazing conversation about figuring it out in your 20s, pressure, comparison, and finding yourself. And before the break, we were having conversation about faith and Jesus and the difference that he makes when you're in that phase of life. Would love to hear your thoughts either after the show or if you're listening to this. So you can always drop us a WhatsApp message. Did not mention that earlier, but now you know. The number is 0745 9906822. That is 0745 9906822. Or you can drop an email, info@jumboradio.co.uk. Is there something you agree with? Is there a topic you would like us to tackle in future? Just let us know. So continue our conversation. I wanted to bring the African diaspora angle to this, and we love it. I love, like I was saying to my mom the other day, I'm so glad I'm Zambian. I like being like the joy of having those two cultures merge, like the Scottish. I love being Scottish and I love being Zambian.
Interesting.
It's like a double. Yeah, it's a very interesting marriage. It's like double joy, like double shenanigans, and I'm here for it. I love it. So I used to be. That's something that used to. Oh no, I don't. Who am I? Like identity crisis in my 20s, but now I've kind of fully embraced both. I'm just like. Yes, it might confuse you, but I'm just both. So
literally like the Black and Scot trend that literally happened with the Americans finding out that Black people lived in Scotland. I'm like, Black people live everywhere.
Yeah.
So that was an interesting time, but no,
Yeah.
100% love being African and Scottish.
Yeah. So just the conversation around success and how we define success in African, I know every culture is slightly different, but predominantly like that subculture exists of how we look at success. How do you think that feeds into what people might be experiencing, especially young people from those backgrounds, when they're wrestling with some of what we've talked about identity, about comparison. Success, especially career-wise? How do you think that feeds into that?
Yeah, I feel like success should actually be quite subjective to each individual, but because of like the African background and how we view success, it's like there should be like only 4 jobs, like tech, finance,
doctor,
medicine. No, literally.
Are you a doctor? Are you an engineer?
So my sister's a doctor, and I already understand the whole word of that, but it could actually never be me. So thumbs up to anyone that's it, because it's actually not easy.
It is hard work.
It's so hard. Like I've literally seen that. Like she's literally working 13 hours this week, and I'm like, girl, I don't know how you're doing it, but God be with you, honestly. So it's like, because of those thoughts that they have, it's like, oh, because like even when I was saying I wanted to pivot to do marketing, because from social media, that's what I see how African parents are like. There's like, oh, you should be a doctor, you should be a dentist, you should work in tech, finance. So I was a bit like, oh, I don't know like how to bring this up. But my dad was just like, yeah, that's fine. Like my mom, they were just both so supportive. But like that's not the case for everybody. So it can be really hard to then compare yourself to other people that do go on to do those type of jobs, and be like, oh, am I not good enough because like I'm not doing this and this and that. So it can be difficult, and I feel like it is a parent's job to encourage their kids to do what they feel like they're going to thrive in, because you can be successful within any field that you put yourself in. You just need that ambition to continue doing it and do well in it. So I feel like we shouldn't be boxed into certain places within to show that you're successful, like because you're a doctor. Like being successful doesn't only come from being a doctor. Like even for my sister, like there's so many other things that she's doing out with being a doctor that I would say like, wow, you're really successful because you're so multi-talented in so many different areas. So I feel like, as a parent, you shouldn't like see your child just because of like the field that they're going into. You should like trust in their ambition to do whatever they think they can do.
Yeah, and I love that point about actually success looks different. Because we're all different. Exactly. We're all, God has uniquely made each of us differently, with different gifts and with different potential, with a different direction in which He has created us to go. It kind of got me thinking about some of what you've said around those 4 options. I think I remember there was a meme that used to go around like, success to African parents is only 4 options. You're either, a doctor, engineer, lawyer, or a failure to the family. Exactly. And I think that's maybe some, changing a little bit more, which is a good thing, especially like as millennials. I'm a millennial. I'm like, as millennials become parents and kind of start to challenge some of those ideas, I think the next generation maybe will have some breathing space. But I have been, in that space when I grew up in Zambia and moved here when I was 14. So, and I went to like a girls' Catholic boarding school where academia, it was like you would get 98% in a test and you'd be like, somebody would have got 100%. And you'd be like,
have 2 heads?
Like, why did you? So, and sometimes it wasn't always other people, because my parents, similar to yours, very supportive. Like my dad would always just be like, well done, you know, like whatever kind of grade. And even if I didn't get a good grade, he would just be like, you tried hard, well done, you did your best. But I still put that pressure on myself, because just you in that environment in which I think sometimes maybe poverty plays a role, where it's not just success for success's sake. It's, sometimes those are the fields, the things that are viewed as success are the things that usually get you out of poverty. So I guess sometimes you are in a more privileged position, like living in the UK, for example, where you maybe have a little bit more options. But for a lot of people, sometimes there aren't those options. And so it's like, if I don't succeed in in tech or in these spaces where there is money, I'm gonna be so I think there's we can understand maybe like
100%.
the why,
and I feel like the pressure is not always bad. Like I feel like having that pressure has made me be a more ambitious person.
That
because,
drive,
exactly, because
I'm
like my parents didn't bring me to this country to be a failure. First of all, like it's just not in the vocab. It's not gonna happen. Like I will be successful no matter what. It's just like how I'm going to do that might be quite different to the norm. So I don't feel like the pressure is bad. It's just like when it becomes like toxic pressure, like you're nothing to me, or you're a failure if you don't succeed within these
very specific ways.
And I feel like they're understanding like you can make a lot of money within fields out with the big four anyway. So I think that's where the leniency is coming from as well.
Yeah, that's really helpful. I'm wondering as well, since we've talked about the faith element, if there is a role that plays in the conversation when we are talking about success and what that looks like. Is there something that you would say from a Christian perspective to speak into that for maybe somebody who is hearing this and they're thinking, but like you don't understand my situation. Somebody who's struggling with comparison, somebody who's struggling with feeling like they're not where they wanted to be, and they might not even be. I know we're focusing this conversation on 20s, but it could be for somebody from any age, really, couldn't it? And what would you kind of say to kind of encourage them or get them to see things from a different perspective with a Christian worldview with that?
I would literally just say like do your best and find people that are doing things that you would also want to do. Because when I was like I was struggling trying to figure out what I wanted to do, like I was just frantically going to as many networking events that I could, just to get guidance and hear other people's stories of how they got out of that grunt and how they're like successful and on their journey of life. I think is the best way to learn and to make less mistakes. Like everyone's going to make mistakes, and like you say, you don't really learn until you make mistakes, just as long as you don't continue making those mistakes. But I feel like once you see someone like you doing what you're doing, it really helps like just position your mindset to know like, okay, I can get to that position too. There's this girl called Mercy. She was at one of the networking events I went to, and I kind of see her as my mentor because like she was doing kind of like what I saw myself doing. So I just pulled her for a chat and was like, just to like kind of pick her brain and find out more like, how did you get to this stage of your life? And then she actually was the one that connected me to a program that she does. It's like an internship called Futures Unlocked that help underprivileged backgrounds and like kind of get their foot into the door with the creative industry. So I applied for that and I got in, and that was with John Doe, where I work now. So I feel like not being afraid to also ask questions, like if you're stuck and don't know where to go, like LinkedIn is such a good source. Like there's people all over willing to help. Like there's people
I've started doing the whole LinkedIn. I've connected with like a few people, and see when you actually reach out and just don't be a weirdo and just and you're like, oh, you're okay.
Sometimes I'm like, are you real? Because like you have like so many like followers and connects, and you actually took your time out. But like that's when you realize like people actually want to see other people win. Like everyone can be at the top, but we are like also need to do our bit to help people as well. So I found that really helpful, like talking to other people, but also like as a Christian, trusting in your word. Like as I say, faith that works is dead. Like you also need to do your part within it. Like you can't just be like, oh, God will help me, like he'll take me out of this. But you also need to do your part in like look for those connections, look for those opportunities. Like you can't just sit down and be like, oh, God is gonna get me out of this. So I feel like just being proactive with yourself, like doing the best that you can do, like if it's sending out a few emails a day, or like setting goals for yourself as well to make sure like you're actually making progress. I feel like that's the best way to kind of look at it. But also being in your words. And
I love that, the simplicity of like doing the best that you can, because it reminds me of a Bible verse that says, whatever you do, work at it with all your heart, as if serving the Lord. And so it's just a general foundational principle that I've taken with me as a Christian. Like, whatever I do, and I, by the way, I apply that to, like, I play hockey as like a hobby. It's a very involving hobby. Must say, because my mom is always like, this hockey of yours, because I always come back with some kind of injury. I have to train and then go play a match. It's a hobby, but it's not I'm just tasking. It's so, but even with that, I'm gonna like, what does it look like to show up and do the best that I can with my job, with the charity, with all these things. And it's something I always say to young people when I used to do youth work in church as well, because when you're doing exams, when you're doing uni, when you're doing all these things, it can feel like I didn't get the grade that I got, or I didn't get the job, and that gets you on a downer. But I always say to young people, did you give it the best that you did? Because that's what God asks you to do, to be faithful with the gifts he has given you. If you are faithful with your brain, your mind, your resources, the opportunities, the networks, like you've said, that he's given you, all the raw material, and you're stewarding that well, and you're faithful in that, that's what he asks you of you. Sometimes that will get you success, sometimes it doesn't, actually, and that should be okay, because you're like, actually, you're still learning, you're still being transformed, your character is still building, like you've said. And
like, just like David, like, I reread the story of David recently, and it kind of just opened my eyes. It's like, with the lion and the bear, it's like, he didn't know that God was preparing him for something greater, to killing Goliath. It's like, if you kind of give up within that stage and think, oh, what am I doing? Like, this isn't like attaining to anything, but you don't realize, like, there's actually a bigger goal ahead, that God is preparing you for your purpose. Like, you just need to work hard in the season that you're in, and the next season, you never know what opportunity can present itself. Like, that's why with LinkedIn, like, visibility is so key. It's like, you don't know what post someone is gonna see and be like, wow, I see so much potential in this person, and it can literally just take that one post, but you just have to keep going at it, because it could be your 1000th post before someone notices you. But it's just like, keep going and keep that consistency going. And it kind of reminds me of the parable of talents in Matthew.
I love that.
Like, God is going to give you your skills, but it's kind of insulting to God if he's giving you these skills and you're not using it, because he will multiply whatever you do, but you need to put in the work first.
And that's the stewarding part, isn't it? It's the what do I have? And sometimes, like, the part with the talent, I think, is obviously in that context about money, and that obviously means money, but also it means, like you've said, other things, so 100%. Opportunities that we get. So, when the Bible has been written, obviously there wasn't social media, so I'm sure that could have been applied to that context. But it doesn't mean that not everybody's a fan on social media, but we do have that tool. So it is a tool. How can we steward that well? Exactly. And some of the things you've mentioned about networking up to community. Community, that's the word that keeps coming back. Like, you
never know who you're gonna meet that's gonna take you to, like, the position where you want to be. So I feel like,
who you're gonna bless as well, because you mentioned that about, like, being surprised that, like, people reply who are way successful, and you're like, do you even have time for a minion like me? But it's like, who are we, who are you encouraging, who are you blessing, who are you like, you could be an answer to somebody else's prayer about where they ought to be. So I think it's a challenge. As you were saying that, I was thinking, 'cause sometimes I'm like, I don't have capacity. That's my default these days. I used to, in my 20s, I was like, yes. Now I'm like, I have capacity. And I'm like, I've been saying
that word now, working in corporate, it's like, do you have the capacity? I don't have the capacity. I'm like, Lord.
We need to find a different word. It's now getting abused, isn't it? But I've been challenged recently to be like, okay, that's fine. And there are times where genuinely you don't, but actually there are moments where you could sacrifice a little bit and give and almost like, you're not instead of hiding your gift and your opportunities and talents and the success that God has given you, it's blessing somebody else with that. It might just be one person, because that's all you might be able to do. But I've kind of deviated slightly, but that's how our conversations go. So what the last thing that I wanted us to kind of think about was thinking about kind of your own life right now, and are there things that you would say you're still in the process of figuring out, or working through?
I'm like, what am I not still figuring out? feel like I'm still at the stage of experimenting and seeing where my skills lie, what I'm good at, what I'm not good at. But I feel like that's the joy of your 20s. Like, you have all
press
these
a button and see what happens.
Literally. And the button is vibrant and red, so I want to press it anyway. Like, I feel like that's literally your 20s summed up. It's like just trying out different things and being able to take risks, meet new people, find friends that align with you as well. Like, even with TGU, like, I'm still trying to figure out. And that's the thing, like, with the Grace Uni.
Tell us more about that, because you've said it a couple of times. So, like, the full abbreviation version, not the...
Yeah, so it was a journey in myself of, like, figuring out, like, oh, am I good enough to start something like this? And I feel like I went through that stage of just being like, why would God choose me out of everybody to, like, bring this community together? But then when I was going through that process, I was reading the story of Moses and how it was kind of similar to his journey bringing the people out of Egypt, and feeling like he wasn't the right person to do that. But no one is perfect at the end of the day. Like, you have to have trust in yourself and, like, the skills that God has given you. And, like, if he's put this on your heart, there's always a reason for that. And going back to the capacity point, is like, I'm like, oh, I don't have the capacity to do that. I've already got this on my plate. Like, if I add that, like, God knows what's going to happen. But just trusting in, like, the purpose that God has for you, I feel like it's so important. And having that community around you to encourage you to do the right things and make the right decisions. So creating TGU,
what is TGU?
It took, like, okay, so TGU is a community of young people. Like,
what does it stand for? Sorry,
the Grace Unity.
Okay.
Yeah, the Grace Unity. Because I believe in this life, God has given us the grace. So, and we're close to him now, which is a privilege for us. So we should do that and use our skills to then flourish in whatever purpose that he has for us on this earth. But yeah, it's basically just a community of young people to try new things, like, for creatives, to meet new people, and to just commune with other like-minded people on the same kind of journey as you. So previously our launch event was a paint and worship night. And then we did, like,
painters in, like, the walls?
No, so, like,
art?
paint, like, kind of paint and sip vibes. But we also did worship as well. We did Pilates and Bible study, which was quite popular, so we might bring that one back. Yeah, it was really good. It was intense.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you went out.
It was cute. And then we did a roller skating night, which was nice as well. And our last event was a gospel spin class. Yeah, so we were playing just a lot of gospel beats, having a good time.
Spin?
Yeah, like cycling. I'm getting people to work.
I'm getting you to clarify each point as in this thing.
Yes, a spin class.
I love the creativity with it. And
and it's like things out of the norm of what the church would do, and a place where you can, like, fellowship with people, like, on the same journey as you. And I feel like that's something that we may lack, because, like, we don't put ourselves out there enough to, like commune with people, not in a professional way, just on vibes and fun, but also
a little bit of joy. Like, not everything needs to be
to be serious. Like, just something to relax and also meet people and just have a chill time. So that's kind of what the Grace Unity is. But creating something like this, like I said, I'm always, like, the planner. Like, I always want to get people together. So, like, it kind of made sense, but it took me, like, 2 years to kind of properly implement it and do it. So I actually quit my first job because I'm like, I'm just pushing it back, but I just need the time to actually pour into what I'm trying to create. So I worked on it for 2 months, and then I had the launch event, and it was really successful. It was, all the tickets sold out, and it's continued to sell out.
How many tickets?
So it was 35 tickets for the launch event. So, and it's just been growing ever since. We've hit 1K on TikTok.
I feel like that is a gap, like we said earlier. Community, like,
and people are really, really craving it nowadays. And just having finding genuine people is really difficult in today's day and age. So I feel like that space is really good for young people nowadays to, like, be aligned, because there's so much happening in this world.
So when you say young people, because in an African context, That's
So like 18 to 35.
okay. That
Kind of
helps.
vibe, yeah.
I was in some
Young adults,
like
yeah.
last year, the year before, and they talk about youth.
Yeah.
And I kept getting invited to youth programs. Now, in my mind, because at the time I do actual youth work
Yeah.
with teenagers, like
Yeah.
14-year-olds. So in my mind, like, that's youth. And then
Yeah.
I would visit a church and they'd be like, oh, that's the youth program. I'm like, I'm literally 30. I was like 32 at the time. I'm like, I'm 32 years old. So it's really funny because when you're in an African context, you gotta specify what you mean by youth. Otherwise,
Yeah.
40-year-olds will show
We'll
up.
show up. No, that's so
because,
real.
you know,
I mean, everyone is welcome, but you know, it's mainly
so
for
I could
young
show up. I'm
adults.
35. So
Girl,
I've
show
got
up.
1
We
year.
want you
Yeah.
there. But no, yeah, it's just
That's
a
amazing
cute
though.
space.
And you say there's a TikTok, like, is that where you just kind of post?
Yeah, I feel like that's
you
like
know?
my creative outlet as well. We kind
Mm-hmm.
of just post to promote the events, but also just like funny, relatable TikTok videos that you can indulge when you're scrolling.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's kind of it. And I created
What is the handle? Sorry, before
so it's
I
the
forget to
grace
ask.
dot unity
The Grace
on
Unity
everything.
on Instagram, TikTok,
and LinkedIn.
and LinkedIn.
Yeah.
Amazing.
But yeah, so I created it after I quit my job, had the launch, and then out of nowhere, the John Doe opportunity just came about. And I feel like when I look back, I'm like, and I was worrying so much during that period, I'm like, you don't understand how many people you can help if you just be obedient to God's word. So I'm so grateful to the fact that I was able to do that. And at the end of it, I got a job as well. So
Yeah.
we thank God.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well done. That
Thank
is amazing. As you know, as a founder, I know it is not easy to
Yes,
get
it's
things off the
not.
ground and the amount of work that it takes to do that.
Yeah.
So taking that bold step and just being like, I am leaving my job. I am gonna do this thing
Yeah.
instead. Like
Yeah.
that is incredible. So yeah, well done. And
you.
yeah, so check it out on all the socials. I mean, of course, it's gonna have social media platforms because that is your
What I do.
that is what you do. That is your niche. I would be very disappointed if there wasn't any socials. I'd be like,
No, there is.
Yeah.
There is. And our next event would be in June.
In
And it's
June?
like a cake decorating.
what?
Cake decorating.
What? So sorry. Talk to me like I'm 5. I do not know what that is.
So we have a vendor that does cake decorating workshops. So she'll basically bring the cake and the frosting and everything. It's just cutesy vibes to decorate the cake, talk to each other. They'll be like, nice
So the
question
cakes are
card.
already made.
Yeah, the cakes are made.
Who makes the cakes?
The vendor. So she has everything
So
ready
it's
for
basically
you.
like cake. You're gonna eat cake, but you're gonna decorate
Decorate
before you
it
eat
and then you eat it.
Ah.
What more could you want? Do you know what I mean? And it'll just be cute vibes, have
Yeah.
some good praise and worship on. We'll have a speaker and just some time to chill.
And what date is that event? In case anyone's listening.
June
and they-
13th.
June 13th. Is that what day is that?
It's a Saturday, I believe.
Okay.
It's a Saturday.
Okay,
Yes.
exciting. That is 2 weeks away. Because
It
like June.
is.
Like that's
I know,
That's-
we're halfway through the year.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Halfway there. All right. Just before we wrap up,
Yes.
any final thoughts? Headline, a sentence or two for anybody listening to this conversation, listening back, anybody who finds it later
Yeah.
on, because we do put our conversations up on YouTube as well.
Yeah.
So as well as listening on the app, people can go back and listen. So if somebody is listening back and it's just is one thing you want them to take away, what would it be?
I would say don't be afraid to ask questions. Don't be afraid to reach out to other people. Find your community. Come to the Grace Unity. And just be yourself. Like with imposter syndrome, like it can really come on you and dwell. But if you do your bit, like, because there's a reason why someone is going to hire you. You already have the skills. You already have the mindset. You just have to do your bit and show up for yourself, and everything will work out by God's grace.
Amen.
Amen.
Tomisin, thank you so much. I enjoyed this conversation. I wish we could continue, but we are going to wrap up there. That was a conversation about figuring out in your 20s. Although, thinking back to the conversation we've had, it is relatable to anyone at any stage of life, because we all go through these transitions
100%.
and we all struggle with that's your thing, even in my 30s. And so thank you so much for
you.
joining us. That is all we have time for today. So we will be back in a fortnight here on Jumbo Radio, same time, Saturday, 10 to 11 a.m. So I'm going to play you a tune by Mercy Chinwo to get you into the rest of the afternoon. I love this song because it's about what God is doing next, and it's something that we've been talking about. And so this is We Move by Mercy Chinwo. Bye.
Bye.